everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's on the Tube. Welcome back. If this is your 11th The Rookie Season 7 episode review, hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing safe out there in the big old world. Yeah, I made a boo-boo last week. I think I named last week's episode 11, but no, it was the 10th episode. I initially thought the mid-season finale was episode 9, but it was episode 8, so I got a little bit sidetracked with that. But I do apologize for that. Sometimes, you know, when you're reviewing 4 different shows that are in different points of the season, it can get a little confusing after a while. It really can be. Thankfully, we are going to be lessening down our workload, my workload, soon in a few weeks once we wrap up with Reacher for the year, and then shortly after that, Rookie and Mad Law, which I always say like, oh god, I can't wait for the break, and I'm like, I miss reviewing stuff. I really do. I do have a cool idea coming up. We already talked about this later the channel, so that'll be in the pipeline soon enough. But today, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about this week's episode of The Rookie, where for me, I really thought this was an interesting concept. I really did. It's the same thing I've been saying all season long. The writers are constantly finding new ways to innovate and keep us entertained at the same time, where this felt more like a kind of not a filler episode per se. It kind of felt like just kind of them doing traditional police work in an interesting, rookie spin on it, and that was about it. But no, the end of the episode kind of, really teed up a certain factor that I'm like, okay, we could finally be starting the real second half storyline now, which I'm very curious to see. Because again, after this episode, we only have 7 left of the whole season. So I'm like, we kind of have to start really needing like what is going to be the real meat of like the substance. Because, we still got some other fish to fry, but like, the main course, like we haven't really figured that out just quite yet. So, now us team back in, kind of getting back acquainted with a familiar character again, it's going to make for a very interesting scenario once we do get closer to seeing what the true purpose of that is. And I'm still a little bit vague about it. I still very much am. There's still some very much like still question marks on what the overall final plan is for the end of the day, but we'll get to that soon enough. We will. But for me personally speaking, I think this was a really great episode. I think all the characters did something different and unique. We had some very touching moments, some very sincere moments, and some very cool moments as well, which is sometimes it's just another week of the rookie, but with all that being said, let's go for the Butcher recap and talk about this week's episode of The Rookie. So we begin with Nolan getting a little bit, actually no, not to Nolan yet. We cut over to Bradford and Penn, as they're making a stop. Bradford testing Penn about his rules of the roads and everything. Going to at least issue this this citizen a ticket for doing an improper traffic conduction. Which the guy says like, okay, no, I understand what you mean, but like, aren't you technically parked on a corner of a street that you're not supposed to? So if you're enforcing the law, shouldn't the officers also be abiding by the law? And Bradford just like looks at Ridley, Penn is just like, hey, it's your call. Do what you want to do. Like it's I trust you. And Penn decides to follow suit with what the citizen does, and Penn properly parks their shop up the hill. And I've been to California before, so those hills can be quite steep. So he had to run all the way back down, but the guy already left already. Bradford just let him go. Bradford had enough time for him to go find a parking spot, come back down for him to get a cup of coffee, which I'm just like, that's just hilarious. And Bradford teaches him the rule like, okay, we may be enforcing the law, but however, we're not taking slack from these people. So there you go. And then they get a robbery in progress, which they have to respond to, and now Penn has to go all the way back up the hill to get the car and bring him back, which is hilarious to say the least. It really is. Then we cut over to Nolan, who is getting ready for another dress down day. This time, however, the LAPD is embarking on a new pilot program, a new pilot initiative for I don't know when it was the protocol for, like once a month, that each station is going to pick out a very bad transit line that is reporting a lot of crime, a lot of theft, and see if they can make an impact on the deterrence, which Nolan and Juarez are being selected to volunteer as the civilian police officers that will be going in to be the actual feeding the real legitimate source. And he's trying to look his best, which I'm just like, no, this looks like you. This isn't really, you're not really calling for anything, if you know what I mean. It's just, You don't need to try. You just do you, Nolan. You always do you. And even Bailey's just like, yeah, you just look the same. Like, you're not trying to like hide yourself or anything. Which I'm just like, I don't know what the point of that was, but yeah, no. So Nolan is like taking harsh criticism, and Bailey recommends a baseball cap for his troubles. Like, yeah, go full Marvel incognito on him. He's kind of pseudo adjacent to it, but however, they are looking at the fiscal costs for raising a child as well as adoption, because again, adoption's not cheap, which is kind of surprising considering the fact you would want these kids to have solid households. So having the parents kind of have to pay prospective parents to pay so much in fees just to adopt is just kind of, for me, it's kind of crazy. Like, like even like at least Bailey's estimate 40 grand just to get the kid into their care, as well as then obviously the regular costs of raising a child like afterwards, which I'm just like, okay, yeah, I never really did too much research into that, to be honest with you. I really don't. I hope that, and will plan to have naturally born children of my own, biologically speaking. But I'm just like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, I do understand you want to vet the parents, which of course you should vet the parent, but like, and maybe the fiscal components like at least a deter away from like, because I'm pretty sure people would probably adopt kids willy-nilly. So actually, never mind, that makes sense. At least not too high. At least that's way too high. It's kind of dumb. Like these it is, well, that's a topic for another day. But so Noah heads off to the station while we see Chen and Bradford talking. Not like that. But apparently, sadly, now that Wrigley is out of the FTO program, that Chen is no longer needed to be a TO. So sad to say that she is now receiving her brief pay bump to augment to her TO or temporary TO status. Which the way she said, like, she's had all these extra amenities because of the extra bump, which I'm just like, how long has it been? Like, okay, maybe actually I'm right. It has been 2 months. Hasn't been 2 months? I'm like, damn, because I guess like 2.5 months already. I mean, even longer than that. I'm like, Jesus. So long. So let's say 10 weeks. So like actually that does make sense. So it kind of sucks. And even Bradford just pivots to like, why don't you just take the exam and then you could just be on reserve. Like you don't have to be constantly teaching every rookie. So it's like, okay, if there happens to be another set of 3, then like okay, and Nolan and Bradford are outnumbered, then yeah, of course he'll just come in and fill in. Because as of right now, the slots are filled, but Chen doesn't want to do that. She doesn't see TOing as like her future. She feels like if she takes it and she gets it, that she'll just be stuck there. She'll just be constantly training the next generation of rookies and like, never really progressing on her own career as fast as she wants to. So she doesn't want to do it. She wants to focus on her sergeant's exam and call it a day. But sadly, Bradford, this episode, I'm gonna admit to myself, I'm gonna admit to y'all, to jump ahead, Bradford's kind of a simp in this episode. I didn't quite like that. I do know Bradford is starting to get more emotional. This is not the same like this is definitely a Bradford that is only just trying to get Chen back in a proper way, which is respectful. But at the same time, I do like these are things I do not expect you saying. I really, really don't know. When you were dating, yeah, but like you're trying too hard a little bit, just a little bit. Everyone assembles in the bullpen, where Gray goes into more detail about the program, which apparently none of the other officers read into, but okay, sure. But yeah, no, especially this is a program, it's a pilot program trying to get officers into these very crime-ridden transit routes and trying to reduce crime in there via undercover officers. Which honestly is a lot of resources because you gotta have like 2 officers to be in the car, then you have to have 2 officers patrolling with them, and then at least 2 supervisors, aka the detectives that are they're monitoring the whole situation. Which, do we really need that many people? I don't think so. Again, I don't work in policing, so I can't say for sure, to be honest with you. But at least in that regard, it's just like, I don't know by this point. I don't know, but either way, it's a good excuse to have everyone kind of contingent on each other, and because Bradford's going to be running with Chen today, and Bradford can be focusing on teaching. That Penn is going to be riding with Gray today, acting like kind of like an Overwatch, kind of like doing their own thing, but still having a pulse on the whole larger case at this moment. So they're geared up. Everyone's ready to go. Nolan's baseball cap idea is ditched immediately. Like it's a no-no for him. Juarez spend time working on a undercover persona, while Nolan's just like, I'm just a dude taking a bus, which I'm just like, I love you, Nolan. I really, really do. So we're all shacked up. Everyone gets into positions. Nolan and Bradford, Nolan and Juarez are just acting like regular civilians, just waiting for a crime to happen. And then we get the beginning of Bradford and Chen kind of just having average conversations with each other. And yeah, I understand. Yeah, Bradford can. It's kind of hard to this is what they say, like, don't date your co-workers, because like if you break up and you're still trying to be neutral about it, you have these moments where Bradford is trying to make conversation with Chen. They are having conversations, but like Bradford's kind of skating the line. Does he be himself? Does he still kind of be like her boyfriend? Like, it's a little weird. It really is, in my opinion at least. But um, eventually they do crack their first suspect, just a regular pocket thief, and Chen and Bradford immediately pick him up once they leave. However, as they progress further into the transit line, two guys board the bus, hovering around the front of it. Which I'm just like, my dude, this driver should immediately just push them to the back a little further. But no, it's part of a plan. They're taking the bus hostage. They have a bomb on them, and they're willing to blow it up if they don't meet their demands. Which I'm just like, that is just wonderful. Also, forgot to mention before we get to that, that Nolan has a conversation with a pregnant lady who is again, Nolan having baby pseudo fever on his brain again. He's just kind of just engaging the land on being that responsible dad again, basically speaking. So the bus jacking is in progress. Gray is notified by it. Oh yeah, I forgot there was another thing I forgot to mention where Gray and Penn were speaking before everything went south, where Penn sadly got served a notice in court. Apparently, his ex's dad was actually covering some of his medical his expenses because, well, they're going to get married someday. So I'm like, it's investing in my future son-in-law. But now that they officially broken up and there's no chance of reconciliation, the guy's like, that sucks. I want my money back. So he's actually demanding $10,000 for Penn to pay back right away. And even though Penn asks for extension, considering the fact he doesn't have even money for an apartment, that it doesn't matter. And Gray's advising him to actually pay directly to the guy, because the problem is that if he goes to court and he is found culpable of actually paying the amount, then the LAPD will look at him as like a potential liability, since like, oh, you have a financial debt while you're an officer, especially in the FTO program. So I don't know, like this doesn't look good for you. And obviously Penn doesn't want to do this. He's trying to figure out how can he make up some money pretty quickly. He does have a championship ring from when he was in college that could be justifiable to turn his fortune around, but he doesn't want to sell it. It's like too much of like an antique from his past, like a memories from his past life. So back to the bus we go. They're holding everyone hostage, pushing everyone back. They're trying to get everyone to put paper on the window so that in case snipers try to kill them, that it's not going to happen, that at least it's going to obscure their view very harshly. So everyone's on board with it, having no choice but to do so. They're trying to mobilize, trying to see what's going on. They get like motorcades next to them. They get Harper and Lopez switch out of Gray and Penn's car. They're switching positions so that they can be on the front lines a little bit, trying to figure out what's going on. However, this is not really doing so well for them. We don't even hear the demands just quite yet. Not yet. Did we get the demands yet? I don't believe so. I don't believe so. No, I think we do eventually. So eventually, the pregnant lady is forced to kind of take everyone's phones and wallets for this ordeal, and loading it up as we cut back over to. At the same time as this is happening, they get a ransom call from an unknown number saying that they want $10 million in cash, and not in cash, in cryptocurrency, to be deposited in a crypto wallet ASAP. Otherwise, the bus is going to die. So they try tracing back the call. That's when Harper and Lopez split off to go handle that, while Chen is, as well as I forgot to mention again, Chen is acting sergeant for the day, as Bradford kind of wants to give her a little bit of taste of taking charge of trying to just see the reins a little bit as an acting sergeant. We're back in the bus. I know the pregnant lady eventually gives over the pillowcase. However, she starts getting some minor pains in her sensitive area. Nolan having to assist her to bring her down while they're trying to keep calm in the situation. And eventually they're revealing that they're trying to get ransom money at the end of the day. So they're just playing it, step by step and everything. They even have a government agent who's sitting next to Juarez trying to pivot, trying to be a hero, trying to say, hey, look, I got contacts, I got connections, I can get you that money faster than LAPD would. But they're not really buying it. They're not going for that. to the point where I believe like it gets a little too close between one of the guys and the business and the government agent, where Horace has to step in, try to disarm him, but however the guy gets shot in the abdomen because he overshoots. So now he's bleeding out. The other one, who reveals to be his brother, is like kind of, you know, cursing because like, this is not how it's supposed to go. We were supposed to be in full control. Now we're fucked, and you know, now like what's and there's no doctor on board, so essentially there's no real help to come to the way. Since Nolan does have training with first aid because of his his wife, and also with police, he does try to help out a little bit, trying to at least apply pressure to slow down the blood loss, to like, you know, give him more time while they're still kind of going through the scheme or whatsoever. They managed to trace back the call back to a house on the east side, I believe. So they head over there. They're about to get inside. However, an auto turret goes off, nearly killing Harper and Lopez. They managed to duck down pretty quickly before anything can happen. So yeah, SWAT goes in and takes care of the house, but sadly there's no one inside. So whoever made the call was probably a remote person. But considering the fact there was an auto turret set up in there, that there definitely was someone in that house at some point at some time. Eventually, yeah, Nolan is trying to give support to the guy, but however, sadly, he's losing way too much blood really fast. They don't have any proper medical equipment. He's pleading to him, you got to take him to a hospital. He's like, nope, that's not the plan. We are going to continue forward. You need to find a way to save him right now, which I'm like, my dude, what do you want me to do? There's a gunshot in his freaking abdomen. Like, that's already, like, game over in some cases. Eventually, he does give in. He lets Juarez calls over for backup, trying to get some sort of medical profession out there, which they select Bailey, considering her training in the army. So they send her in. It's a pretty cool scene where she's trying to jump into the bus, which I'm just like, yeah, like, I mean, you're matching their speed, and it doesn't look like the driver's going anywhere, you know, too fast. So I think you should be fine to like just easily jump. I don't know. I never jumped off a movie vehicle before in my life. But thankfully Bailey gets in there. She gets over to the guy trying to, you know, assist in the recovery for him. I do want to say we cut over to, where do we go from here? I forgot. Do we have a scene between? I don't believe so. I know Harper and Lopez eventually found out the house they were looking at was apparently just a house on the market. It didn't even have an official owner yet. But thankfully, the realtor did attach secret cameras just in case to keep track of the property. And so they're sending over the footage to Lopez, which I'll get to in just a moment. I don't remember if we get any more Bradford and Chen scenes. I don't quite remember if we get any more from beyond this point in time, to be honest with you. I know there was one more casual conversation, but I think that was a little bit later on, to be honest with you. But we'll get to that momentarily. Yeah, so Bailey tries helping out. Eventually it becomes clear that, you know, they are asking for a lot of money. Juarez puts Gray in touch with the sole caper, who again wants wants a specific amount of money. He wants an escape route. He wants the whole shebang. No other exceptions. However, Gray's like, you gotta give me something. Again, you got your brother bleeding out in the vehicle. Bailey saying like there's moments where like he's losing his pulse and everything. Kind of really don't have a choice on the matter here, so he agrees. He agrees to like leave off some people as a sign of goodwill if he can get his brother medical aid, which they do so. Briefly unloading the car, letting the pregnant lady go out, letting go Juarez, Bailey, and his brother to get away from the whole situation. So, which thankfully does work. So that manages to diffuse the situation a little bit. So while Nolan's still on the bus to maintain the LAPD contact point in there. So they got the brother in the gurney to take him away, and everyone starts getting assessed right now, with Chen acting on point commander on this one. Then Lopez gets the footage from the realtor, and the face of the individual is a little bit peculiar. As once she sends over the footage to Gray, they look at the photo and it's like, oh, it looks actually one of the people that was on the bus with Nolan and Juarez, the pregnant lady. So once that kind of starts clicking into place, even after they page it to Bradford and Chen, they look around for the lady, but she already left. She already fled the scene. Apparently one of the EMTs already medically cleared her, so she's like, no, she can go. Like, there was nothing really to keep her going, and it was like, crap. But we'll get to more about her in just a little bit. We're still on the bus. Nolan's trying to still kind of trying to continue to defuse the situation, but things already went out the window. Even by the time he gets back in touch with Gray, Gray's like, "Yeah, no, you got your plane. It's already ready in this airfield. You just gotta, get out there." And obviously, like, where's the money? Gray hangs up on him because like he's not getting any sort of money from that. Like $10 million, forget it. There ain't no way LAPD taxpayers are paying that money. No way. I think from there, Gray does somehow page to Nolan to like, hey, if you got an opportunity, we can end this, end it. If there's an opening, and thankfully there is an actually no, there was a very cool tenseful scene where like there was a car accident in front of the bus path, and Nolan and Bradford and Chen had to go there quickly to kind of defuse it quickly. And the two were bickering, trying to get him out of it, and one of the cars wouldn't start, so Bradford and Chen had to like start the car to get him moving so that it can avoid the collision, which thankfully it was avoidable. So I'm like, damn, that was actually really cool to see. I'm not gonna lie to you about that. So back over to the actual like present day context of it. There was a moment where the guy does get mad at the bus driver for like. It seemed like he was slowing down just a little bit. He was trying to rush him up as they hit a little bit of a bump, and Nolan managed to use the opportunity to kind of take him down. No issues on that. And yeah, thankfully Nolan manages to put a stop to him and managed to put an end to it, saving the rest of the vehicle people. And yeah, thankfully the crisis for now is over. But now they have to focus on the pregnant lady, which doesn't have quite too much. They don't have a lot of background. The other two guys were like kind of just regular delinquents. Nothing really more like beyond this. And the lady hasn't really been known to do anything out of the sort. So I know she's not pregnant officially. That was like something off the record and something she lied about. So I'm like, all that being said, why did she do it? So we cut over to her downloading something, and she gives someone a call, which turns out to be Monica, which we haven't seen in a while. Last time we saw her, she was overseas. She kind of ran away because in fact Nolan got shot in the rear. So we kind of left that plot line hanging. But no, she's back. It's not clear whether or not she's back in LA or she's like hiding in another country. But she's still on the move. She's got a new plan. She's ready to get back into things. But she kind of orchestrated this entire caper, and actually didn't even have involvement with the two hijackers. And that actually didn't like have a correlation to their plans. It just happened that Monica kind of knew things were going to come up the way they did. So subjectively putting in the pregnant lady, timing out the LAPD, kind of guessing that Nolan and the others would be there. That, it all worked perfectly well for her to get out of the bus, clean, without problems. Now Monica has whatever, she pocketed one of the wallets that had a drive or something. And now she has all the data, and she sends it over to Monica. Now Monica can now start data crypting it, which, again, it's not quite clear whose wallet it is. I have a feeling who it is. I don't think it is, considering the fact I don't believe it is. It's just kind of too on the nose, just like another time. But yeah, but either way, so Monica's up to no good again. Now she's kind of luring into like the side of criminality. But what her final new plan is, who the heck really knows? I think she's just trying to get back in the game. But we don't quite hear much from her. Once the officers started moving into the scene, when again the woman shot was like, how do they already know it was me? And Monica's like, hey, look, don't snitch, don't do anything. I'll help you out as much as I can. You'll get your payment, but at the end of the day, if you snitch, ain't gonna look good for you and your kid. So she gives herself up as Lucy and Bradford go in for the arrest, and they manage to put a full end for now to this whole escapade. And there was one more scene before we kind of wrap it all up here, and we go back to the station where there was a scene in the car where I think it was just before they made the arrest on her that Chen and Bradford were just talking about just again with the sergeant's exam. Bradford volunteers to help, and Chen just kind of comes clean with him. He's like, I haven't forgiven you yet for what you did. And Bradford knows. And I can tell Bradford's getting emotional, which I'm like, I normally don't see. I mean, because like, again, he cares about Chen so much and he just wants her to succeed. He just wants her to do well. And he wants to be there and still be supportive. But the problem is that, yeah, he did technically break Chen's heart. And that's going to be something that she's not going to be able to forgive him for a little bit while. And she doesn't have to put the breaker and say, hey, look, I'm single. I'm not looking to date anyone right now. Which again, you don't really have to mention that. I guess just kind of forever. Hey, look, I'm still single. You're still single. Okay, like I'm just gonna keep that avenue open for now. But like at the end of the day, like I need to focus on this, and I still don't trust you fully. But when Chen does, then she would like for Bradford to help her study, which Bradford looks forward to it, whenever that is. We come back to mid-Wilshire where Wesley calls in for his cameo of the episode, trying to just get an update on Lopez and Harper. Worried about them considering the fact they were near the auto turn incident. And they kind of just have a little josh around. We're like, yeah, no, like, just another day of being a detective. Still alive, still kicking. That's all I can really do right now. And Wesley's like, oh, that's great. And Lopez kind of turns it around by him. It's like, so do you have plans for lunch or for dinner tonight? And Wesley's like, oh, crap. Did not realize that so much. So, yeah, that was not a good look for him. Not a good look for him, Mr. Padre. Nolan and Juarez meet up with each other, still like kind of, despite everything that happened, they both conducted themselves properly. Everything went well, and there was no issues of the sort. However, Harper does run into them, letting them know that sadly they don't have anything legally present against the pregnant lady because there was nothing officially tying her into the two robbers. There was also never anything officially concreting her with the auto turret, and technically the only thing she lied about is her pregnancy, which again is not breaking the law technically. So, yeah, they might have to let her go unless they have something vowed on her, which again, they don't know about Monica. They don't know that she's back. So, yeah, so sadly she will have to be let go, but, sadly it is an L on their column right now that, they weren't able to like fully crack it at the end of the day for it. Then I know we get one more scene between Gray and Penn in the car where Penn tells him like, while this entire thing was happening, he managed to to put his ring on eBay. He actually is getting a lot of bids on it, and this could potentially just be the make or break point for him to get out of his financial debt. Which, great, congratulations him on. It took a strong will to do that. To give up a part of yourself. But Penn's like, yeah, but that was a past part of myself. Now I'm looking forward to what's ahead for me here in the LAPD. That is my future, which is honestly sincere. And I was like, I could detect that Gray's starting to get a little attachful to him, which I'm like, okay, Gray, we get it. We get it by this point. We get it. But that barbecue rub does sound pretty good. It really does. I believe that was about it. I don't remember if we had any other scenes. I don't think we had any more with Shannon Bradford. No, that was about it. That called it a day. Nolan goes back home to watch Bailey's action-packed, moment on the news. And, they're just kind of reminiscing about, these are the moments that, Bailey and Nolan wants to tell their kids, like, your parents are badasses. Mostly your mother. But that was it for this week's episode of The Rookie. I enjoyed it a lot. I think the bus concept was really interesting. I honestly thought it was going to be one of those, standard, docu-pseudo-documentary episode where, it's kind of routine, just kind of funny scenarios in each and every arrest, but no, suddenly doing the scene, doing the whole hostage situation, bomb on the bus, Bailey dropping in, that was all cool. It was again coming up with creative ways to keep the show fresh, to keep it going. I very much appreciate that, and it really worked out. And Shannon Bradford having a little moment to kind of get a little update on them, seeing where things were at between them. Again, it's not a no, but it's not a yes. So, Chenford fans, they're gonna have to sit for a while longer. That's all I'm gonna say. All I'm gonna say on that. I'm sorry. There's nothing much else I can do on that regard. But seeing Gray and Penn bond, again, now that Ridley's gone, there's more time on the table to pass around the TLC. So getting to see them bond a little bit naturally was it was nice and sweet. It really was. I'll give them credence to that, mind you. Monica being back being the big thing to talk about. Yeah, no, look, we're in need for a new big bad. We're in the need, again, who the mysterious person was season 6. I don't know what the hell happened with that storyline. When I do eventually rewatch those seasons down the road, yeah, I'm eventually gonna bring that up. But at least for the time being, yeah, no, I think Monica is a good candidate to be the next big bad. I know there's still a couple more loose threads out there for them to pull upon, but at least for the time being, I think it's just supplementary that this is the case right here, and we'll eventually see more of that as time goes on. But so I'm really excited to see what they're going to do, how you know, they're going to eventually loop in Wesley back into things with this. So I'm very curious to see how that's all going to shake out. But with all that being said, I'm giving this episode 2 thumbs up. Let me know down below what you think of this week's episode of The Rookie. I'd love to hear thoughts down below. As always, I'd love to have a conversation with you about it. But I believe that's going to do it for me today, everyone. So if you're unaware, this has been What's the Two from ActionX, reviewing every episode in the 7th season of The Rookie. If you want to know what we're doing normally, What's the Two besides our Rookie episode reviews. Right now, we are doing Reacher episode reviews each and every Thursdays after brand new episodes on Thursdays on Amazon Prime. We normally we would be doing Madlock episode reviews each and every Thursdays after brand new episodes on CBS, but that's still on hiatus for at least a week or so more. But we are also doing Suits LA episode reviews each and every Sundays after brand new episodes on Sunday nights on NBC. But if you don't care about The Rookie, you're lucky. We'll be back next week with another brand new episode review for you, so stay tuned until then. But again, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't yet, like, favorite, share if you want to, ring that bell, and follow us on social media for more. But until we see each other again, thank you so much for watching. Please stay safe out there, be good to each other, and as always, peace out.